You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Locked On Sports Philadelphia. I hope you guys are getting me loud and clear. If you didn't hear me after, I think it was Wednesday afternoon's show, I said I was going to be doing the postcast after the first Seattle game, the 9:40 start time, from my brother-in-law's carport in Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland. So here I am. Please let me know in the comments if you guys are getting this loud and clear. I certainly hope you are. Hope it's not too choppy for you. But anyway, welcome into the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is your Locked On Phillies postcast. Yes, I am in a carport. I believe there are two foxes mating over there somewhere. I heard some weird sounds. There's definitely a lot of bugs flying around my spotlight, so that should be fun. The Phillies played a game, and that was terrible. Again. Oh, carport loud and clear. Thank you, John Marinelli. Appreciate you, brother. Let me know on the YouTube channel comment section. Do appreciate that because it was a little delayed getting started here with a little technical difficulty getting set up. But I do have to let you know that this particular episode of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as the playoffs, of course, and other sports are done and over with. And the big games going on overseas. Make sure you're doubling down on everything when it comes to FanDuel, hooking up all customers with boosts or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. Three big things that we like to get into. Here are my three big things with the Phillies. Now, I'm going to start off with something that, sarcastically positive. Johan Rojas had 2 hits tonight. All right. How about that? That was good. Tanner Banks, 2 scoreless innings tonight. All right there, Tanner Banks. Garrett Stubbs pitched a scoreless 8th inning. That's pretty good. I'd say things are looking up already for the Phils. All right, now let's get down to what actually matters here. Tyler Phillips. I don't know what it is about complete game shutouts and Phillies starting pitching, but they don't go great. Let's go back to last year. Michael Lorenzen not only threw a complete game shutout, but it was a no-hitter. Threw about 125 pitches in that no-hitter and was never the same after that. So that was pretty rough. Christopher Sanchez, earlier this year, threw a complete game shutout against the Miami Marlins, gave up just 3 hits, 101 total pitches in that one. His very next start against the Chicago Cubs, that was pretty rough. 4 innings, 7 runs, 7 hits, 79 pitches. So we went from the complete game shutout to being pulled in the 4th inning after allowing 7 runs for Christopher Sanchez. This time around for Tyler Phillips against the Cleveland Guardians, owners of the best record in baseball, who just took care of business against Gregory Soto and the Baltimore Orioles tonight, which I got to watch live. I'll get to that story coming up in a second. But he goes out against the Guardians, Tyler Phillips, complete game shutout, 4 hits, 105 pitches. And then tonight against the Seattle Mariners, 1 2/3 innings pitched, 8 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 54 pitches. Now, here's the deal. I did not expect Tyler Phillips to go out and dominate tonight. And I hate to go against him. And I know he was 3-0 in his previous 3 starts. And 2 of his last starts came after losing streaks. All of his wins came after Phillies losses. 2 in particular came after losing streaks. He attempted to go out there tonight and be the Phillies stopper. He was not the Phillies stopper tonight. He got shelled. 1 home run after the other, just continued to leave the ballpark further and further. Robles' first pitch home run. He's given up home runs before. He's gotten hit before. He has bounced back fine. I'm talking about Tyler Phillips. He's gotten hit before. He's given up home runs before, and he settles in. Was unable to do that tonight. Goes up there in the 1st inning, gives up the first pitch home run on the sinker down. Robles goes up and just tattoos it, second deck in left field, 426 feet for a 1-0 game, or for a 1-0 lead in favor of the Mariners. Rosarena then grounds out to short. Riley then goes up there and he flies out to center field. Then Turner goes up there and he flies out to center field as well. You're done with the inning after 18 pitches. All right, he limited the damage. He didn't let them get to him. The one thing that I did notice, though, in that first inning, they seemed like they were really pouncing on pitches. Like they seemed to be very, very aggressive. And just something that stuck out to me, they hit the ball hard. They squared up hard. I thought, okay, maybe it's just the first inning, work the kinks out, fine. That wasn't the case. Bottom of the second inning, after the Phillies weren't able to get anything going in the top of the first inning there, unfortunately, Castellanos had a 2-out double, but that was that. We'll get to the offense later. We're talking about Tyler Phillips right now. To start off that inning, not great. Josh Rojas leads off that inning with a ground out to second. So again, you're thinking, all right, now it's 4 straight outs for Tyler Phillips. He really is settling in well. Moore goes up there and he works an 8-pitch at bat that he wins with a walk. He was also just ahead of another fastball in that at bat as part of that 8-pitch at bat, just ahead of another fastball. So you get the sense that they're really pouncing on these pitches. I thought it was interesting, especially because later in the ball game, Ruben Amaro Jr. said it's possible that Tyler Phillips is tipping his pitches. The thought crossed my mind in the early goings, especially when you saw Raley go up there and get a 2-0 count. JT Realmuto went out there and visited his rookie pitcher in Tyler Phillips, and it did not settle him down. 2 pitches later, 3-run home run by Raley, 459 feet to the upper deck in right field. 459 feet. Absolutely teed off on it. Then he gets Rivas to go out there and strike out on 3 pitches. Robles then gets a single. He's down in the count 0-2. Arozarena goes up there. He ends up walking. You have another mound visit, this time not with just JT Realmuto, but Caleb Cotham comes out to the mound. You thought he was going to strike out Collie, or Big Dumper, as his nickname is. Don't think I forgot that. I heard him shout it out during the game as well. But yeah, Big Dumper Collie goes up there. I thought that Tyler Phillips got him striking out on a curveball in the outside corner. Ends up being ball 4. So the bases are now loaded for Justin Turner. He comes out to the plate. He gets a hanging sweeper out over the middle of the plate, and he blasts it the shortest of the home runs hit, 397 feet. So still almost 400 feet to left field. Grand slam home run. Phillies go down 1-0, 4-0, then 8-0. Thanks to Tyler Phillips not exactly bringing it today. Now, here's the deal. He's number 1 because he was the starting pitcher today, and he got shelled, and he came nowhere close to giving his team a chance to win. I see him bouncing back next time around, so I'm not concerned. You have to talk about Christopher Sanchez again, and the last time he had that complete game shutout, he bounced back and had a great stretch of 4 or 5 starts where he was absolutely looking like the guy that made the All-Star team, looking like the guy that the Phillies gave a contract extension to this year. But after Tyler Phillips, after tonight, I expect him to bounce back in his next start. That's why it brings me to number 2. Bryce Harper is the heart and soul of this team. Where Bryce Harper goes, this team goes. Bryce Harper now, 56 at-bats since the All-Star game, has just 6 hits. He is hitting 107 since the All-Star break. He had another 3 strikeouts tonight. 14 strikeouts now since the break. What's crazy about this is when Bryce Harper just got back from the break, he had a nice little 6-game hitting streak going for himself. And then he just fell off. He's got 2 home runs since the break. His last one, of course, was part of that big win that they had against the Guardians in the middle game of that series that Tyler Phillips did pitch, and it was the 8-0 win. That was the complete game shutout. And then after that, you have just not seen anything from Bryce Harper. And the thing that is so concerning about this, it's that you just don't see it on Bryce Harper's face. You see it on everybody's face. But Bryce Harper, as the heart and soul and leader of this team, with beyond question, I'm not saying this is why he's in the slump. I'm not saying this is why the Phillies are in this slump right now, but I know why they're staying in this slump right now. The reason they're staying in this slump is because they don't believe they can hit worth a lick, and the evidence is mounting to that. But there is zero confidence in this team, and what they're doing right now is exaggerating every single mistake they make mentally. And I'm not saying that's how they got into this. Ebbs and flows are going to happen throughout the course of the season. I've mentioned the Yankees many times. The Yankees from June 15th to July 26th won 10 games. They were 10-23 in that stretch. Then all of a sudden they start to look like a team that's starting to figure it out. The Phillies right now are going through a horrible stretch where they're 4-12 in their last 16 games. This is abysmal. And this isn't the Phillies that we've seen play. Like even me, I've gone back and I've looked at May 24th, and I mentioned it to you guys a lot. May 24th, since then, they're now one game under 500. This is a long sample size here, but that's not 4-12. This is a horrible stretch the Phillies are going to. I do believe, and I am confident, the Phillies will find their way out of this slump, out of this lull. They're a better team than what we've been watching. I know that they are. But watching them right now look like a team that is completely lost is obviously disheartening. And every single guy that goes up there, and it starts with Bryce Harper, one little mistake that they make, swinging over top or swinging underneath a high fastball like Bryce Harper did in the first inning. He did it again in the third or fourth inning, I think it was as well. Sixth inning, high fastball, another high fastball he struck out on. You see it time and time again. It's these little mistakes that every single baseball player makes, but when the Phillies make them right now with the rut that they're in, they exaggerate it in their head to the point where this is the end-all, be-all, I'll never get out of this. And it feels like you're watching a team right now that just has no mojo, to put it in as layman terms as possible. This team has no gusto to them. They have zero swagger to them. They have absolutely no confidence. And I saw it on Bryce Harper's face tonight. I saw it on Kyle Schwarber's face tonight. And I saw it, unfortunately, on Bryson Stott's face tonight. One of the guys who really, since the All-Star break, really over the last couple of weeks of the season, has been doing a great job of working long counts. He still gets down 0-2, then he battles back for a 7 or 8 pitch at bat, and he fouls a couple away, and the next thing you know, he wins that at bat with a walk, or he wins that at bat with a base hit up the middle. That's what you're used to seeing from Bryson Stott in his short, brief career to this point, in his young career. But tonight, he goes up there at the plate, and the one instance in particular that I'm talking about is you see him step up there in the 9th inning, and the Phillies are just trying to get something going for themselves, just to get some confidence to build into next week or tomorrow night's game. And yeah, we'll be live from the carport again tomorrow night as well. But Bryson Stott goes up there and just looks lost. There was a couple of pitches that he had during that at bat. He ended up grounding into the 1-4 putout. He's safe at first, but there was a couple of pitches that were just right there over the middle of the plate that he just missed. Or a pitch that he took at the knees that was called a strike when he thought it was a ball. And it's just everything. You get the close-up of him when he steps out of the batter's box, and he's just like looking at it like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do at this point. I'm not saying this is what put the Phillies into this slump. I am saying this is what's preventing the Phillies from getting out of this slump. Number 3 on the 3 big things here, I thought the day off was going to help. I honestly, legitimately thought the day off was going to help. Get away from the game. Bryce Harper's posted pictures, or his wife's posted pictures. His lovely wife, Kayla, posted pictures of him with the 3 kids, them out hiking in the Seattle countryside, whatever. If you've been to Seattle, it's beautiful. If you haven't been to Seattle, go to Seattle. It's gorgeous. Thought they were going to get that moment where they were going to be able to clear their heads, hit the reset button, and go back at it tonight. And Kyle Schwarber comes out there. I literally thought I saw the fox. I thought I saw one of the fox. Anyway, Kyle Schwarber goes out there in the first inning, gets a single. All right, let's party. Let's get something going here. Phillies get nothing going after that. It's a really rough spot that the Phillies are in. The Phillies need some kind of, I don't know what it is to get it going, but I mean, what I know they need is Bryce Harper to start injecting life back into this lineup again. And you're not getting that with a 107 batting average. You're not getting that at all. Going 6 for 56 since the All-Star break in your last 15 games. 16 games now. You're not getting that. Bryce Harper, he looks like he needs to be sat. And if you're Rob Thompson, and I know you get asked the question all the time, guys that are struggling, where you go with it. Nick Castellanos struggling in the early goings of the season. What does Rob Thompson do? He promotes Nick Castellanos in the lineup. He puts him as the cleanup hitter. And ever since then, and I know we've talked about this before, ever since then, Nick Castellanos has been a much better hitter. 271 since May 19th. That's not a bad batting average for Nick Castellanos. That's close to the numbers you saw him at when he was an all-star last year. But Rob Thompson needs to find some button to push, something to shake up, and make sure these guys come back at it. Trea Turner gets taken out of the game late in this one for Edmundo Sosa. Bryce Harper keeps on trucking along there, and he gets up there at the plate again. In the 8th inning, nothing doing for him there either. No way he's finding his way out of this without some kind of shakeup. When we come back, we're going to take a look at obviously your comments as per usual, and we're also going to examine the idea of that closed door meeting or what else Rob Thompson can do that the players aren't doing. If there's a button that Rob Thompson can push, if there's some kind of conversation that needs to be had, it's gotten to the point where I don't know if they're gripping the bats too tight. That's certainly what it looks like to me, but something has to be said. Maybe not an official meeting where they close the doors and get the media out. I don't know. But something needs to happen right now to get this lineup back hitting again so they can at least support a young pitcher. They can at least support Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola when they're on the hill and not continue to struggle the way they have since the break. When we come back, we'll take a look at your comments and we'll dissect what they can do further in this lineup. You're Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name's Mark Farzetta. Back in a second. FanDuel, let me tell you about FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. When you look at the other sports and things going on overseas as well, take advantage of it all with FanDuel and take advantage also with MLB. FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Right now, looking at World Series odds heading into tonight. How about this? LA Dodgers plus 330. Philadelphia Phillies still second right there at plus 490. New York Yankees at plus 550. The Baltimore Orioles plus 600. The Atlanta Braves, and their name will come up again as well, at plus 1,200 right now. As far as MVP candidates, how about this? Shohei Ohtani still leading the pack by far, minus 950. Bryce Harper at plus 1,000. Francisco Lindor plus 1,200. Those are the odds you're getting right now at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel.com. SupplyHouse.com. You know I love them. You should love them too. When you're talking about SupplyHouse.com, you're talking about getting supplies from a site that's made for the skilled trades. SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is a reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 of the top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Pros of the skilled trades get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trademaster program. Every Trademaster gets access to dedicated phone line as well as free shipping and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade professionals already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. That's SupplyHouse.com. So what can the Phillies do? What can Rob Thompson do? I think the next thing that they have to do is they have to give Bryce Harper a day off. I don't mean the day off like yesterday. I mean the day off like tomorrow. I don't see any other way out of this. If this is a rush back from the hamstring injury, if this was too much with the All-Star break, I'm not making excuses. I'm just looking for a legitimate reason as to why Bryce Harper is going through this slump that he's going through right now. And I have every bit of confidence that Bryce Harper at some point this season is again going to look like a guy who's worth being second in the MVP voting right now in the National League, according to FanDuel. I have full confidence he's going to look like that guy again. But you got to find that moment. You got to find that button to push, and you got to find something that's going to get him going again. Because when you get him going, you're going to get this lineup going. And when you do look at this lineup, Alec Bohm, for instance, still hitting. Another double tonight. He had 2 hits. Bryson Stott, as I've mentioned before, he started to turn it around. You've seen some other guys in this Phillies lineup start to turn it around for themselves as well. Nick Castellanos, I mentioned a lot. Brandon Marsh has been hitting better over the last couple of days. But it seems like when Bryce Harper is struggling, the wins aren't stacking up. And that is something that has gone on way too often for this Phillies team over the last 3 weeks. So where do they go from here? I don't see any other way other than having some sort of meeting. And I always say this, but I always talk about the flipping the table over. I don't know if that needs to happen. I don't know if we're at that point yet. But this is a very, very tough road trip. And the Phillies right now, with the Atlanta Braves winning tonight, are only 5 games up on the Braves. Remember a couple of weeks ago, you, me, a lot of us writing the Braves off? Okay, maybe it was just me. I was writing the Braves off. Then all of a sudden they trade for Whit Merrifield, and everything turns around. Whit Merrifield, by the way, a triple tonight. And they ended up scoring their second run of the ball game, made it a 3-2 game. The Braves were down to the Marlins earlier in their game, 3-0, and they fought back to win that one. But now the Braves are just 5 games behind the Phillies in the NL East. It's insane. Absolutely bonkers insane. So, yeah, to think about a little bit of worry, a little bit of concern. Yeah, hey, look, as far as making the playoffs, yeah, I got every bit of confidence the Phillies are going to make the playoffs. But losing a huge lead that they've had over the Braves for the majority of the year, well, yeah, that would be embarrassing. Flipping the script and all of a sudden becoming the wild card team to Whit Merrifield's Atlanta Braves, yeah, that'd be pretty rough. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat about this just absolutely ugly as heck loss. Oh, wow, you guys are really popping off today. God bless you. Nothing like waiting until 9:40 to start a game only to turn it off in the second inning. But you're here with me now. You're here with me now, John. Thank you so much. In the carport. You're in the carport with me. 824 Bodge, what's going on? First one here to say this team is done. Oh, there we go. We have a first. They're embarrassing. Hit post too soon. Farzy, it's baseball fun. Well, let me tell you the best part of my night. I mentioned Gregory Soto. So I'm in Baltimore right now, Baltimore, Maryland, where my wife grew up. And quite frankly, I lived a couple years of my life down here. My mom is originally from Baltimore. And yeah. And there's a crab feast tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. But and I will be doing the show. There will be a show tomorrow night as well. But the best part of my night was watching the Orioles-Indians game with Baltimore fans and Guardians, yeah, Orioles-Guardians. And I'm watching the game, and Gregory Soto comes in to pitch for Baltimore. And my brother-in-law was like, "Is this guy any good?" I'm like, "Not really." he's got good stuff. He just can never locate it. Like when he's on, and he's good, but he's just not on enough to be legitimate. Like in other words, be in those leverage situations that we've talked about so much in Philadelphia with Gregory Soto. And he was terrible. I forget what his line was on the night, but watching them watch Gregory Soto going, ugh, 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 and then knowing that the Phillies got back in return a prospect, at least, well, 2 prospects, but 1 prospect in particular, that is already their 10th best, a top 10 prospect in their organization they got for Gregory Soto. It's not looking like we can brag a lot about what we're getting from Dave Dombrowski at this point. Although Tanner Banks, not bad tonight, friend. Not bad. And speaking of non-leverage situations, but that was the best part of my night, watching Oriole fans watch Gregory Soto. And then like an hour later, the Phillies game started, and then things weren't fun anymore. Morgan, what's going on? I love how Victor Robles thinks he's Schwarber and Phillips was shaken ever since. Yeah. IBH, what's going on? Like I said, I'd be interested to hear if Tyler Phillips was tipping his pitches. I'm curious if that came up post game from Rob Thompson. Let me do a quick glance over at social media and just see if anybody's putting that out there and in the world. No, all I saw was Bob Nightingale, who I really enjoy. Bob Nightingale tweeted out from USA Today earlier this evening at the time that we're doing the show 36 minutes ago. Okay, so who stole the Phillies uniforms and are masquerading as baseball's best team just 2 weeks ago? The Phillies have suddenly lost 12 of 16. And that 9.5 game lead in the NL East just a week ago has shrunk to 5 games over Atlanta. Gee, thanks, Bob. He also mentioned the 1961 Phillies. Teams that have lost 18 or more consecutive games since 1960 in reference to the current White Sox. Phillies 1961 lost 23 games. Good Lord. That is pretty terrible. Let's see what else we got here. Wilson Phillies. Great name. Things can change. Things will go your way if you hold on for one more day. There you go. That's the spirit. Jose Alvarado gave up a home run. Yes, he did. 410 feet. Joseph Klinger. I feel like your name is Klinger, not Klinger. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to correct me. Harp and Turner took the combined 0 for again. It's getting surreal. It certainly is. Ryan Campbell. With an old core like this, they look worn out. Ugh. Oh, bring in Larry Bowa to kick some ass? I don't see that happening. John Marinette, Buck Showalter, speaking of Baltimore, Buck Showalter is fiery, not managing, and he's only 68. Ryan Campbell, Rob is letting the stars run this locker room, and when they don't perform, there's no way to let them or to lay into them. Time for a change. I would be blown away if the Phillies made a change at manager at this point in the season. Joseph Klinger, hopefully Farsi is okay over there. Oh, this is all like during the game. Let me fast forward a little bit. Sorry if I missed some of you guys. Oh, Freezer hears me loud and clear. All right, great. Wait, what's going on here? Farsi, were they celebrating? I didn't see them celebrating. If they were celebrating, that is pretty pathetic. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, whatever gives them good vibes and a little bit of confidence going into the next game, please, please, please let that be a thing. Nothing else seems to be working. Should have made a move for a real starting pitcher at the deadline. Yeah. Looking back on that, it would have been nice. Getting a bigger bat than Austin Hayes as well. That too would have been nice. Adam, what's going on? ARC Ben, time to worry. Mets and Braves are playing really well. Yep, they are. Bring up Clemens. He could pitch an inning. I mean, Stubbs has got to be tired. It's the third time in 14 games he's pitched. So, the arm's got to be feeling tired. But it was a 1-2-3-8 inning. Got to give that to him. Amir Pollock. The team is flawed. A bunch of streaky hitters prone to long slumps. It kind of feels like the playoffs when you put it like that. Graham Francis, I live in West Australia, but love all things Philly. But what is in the water over there? First Eagles, now this. I wish I could tell you. But whatever you guys got out there, please ship it to Philadelphia. SJ, what's going on? Man, I'm so bummed. This 5-game losing streak is driving me nuts. I get excited when the Phillies take the field, then go out west to lose. So down. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Oh, geez. Chef Pate, what's going on? The critics who claim the Phillies only exploited an easy first half schedule seems like they were spot on. Yeah, it kind of feels like that right now, unfortunately. Kind of feels like that. Any chance Rob changes the lineup? Not outside of anyone getting sat, and I think that happens tomorrow. I hope it happens tomorrow because it certainly looks like it needs to happen. All right, we'll be back. We'll take a look at that game tomorrow. We'll be back in a few. You're Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. One day I'll remember to take the comment off before I go to the read. And this read is a great one because I use this. Liquid IV. It is fantastic. Liquid IV. When you're taking in America's pastime, don't forget to hydrate with Liquid IV's popsicle firecracker flavor. Did you hear me? Liquid IV's popsicle firecracker flavor, a surefire summer hit. Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powered hydration brand in America, because baseball and summer go together like liquid IV and indulgent hydration. No more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use promo code MLB at checkout. That's promo code MLB at checkout. 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. I use Liquid IV if I have a long night. If I actually do that thing that other people do called exercising, I use it after that to help replenish me. It is fantastic. Absolutely love this. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. That's liquidiv.com, promo code MLB. All right, so Phillies will just go ahead and brush this one off, right? 5 straight losses, which is absolutely terrible. And they'll be back at it again at 9:40 tomorrow night. Take on the Seattle Mariners yet again, looking to avoid a 6th straight loss. Colby Allard will get his second start for the Phillies. He'll go against Bryce Miller, be a lefty-righty matchup. Bryce Miller comes into this game 8-7 on the season with a 3.46 ERA. He is coming off a 6 inning and 6 in the third inning performance, 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 home run against the Chicago White Sox. Give up 3 runs, not even a real baseball team, and the Phillies aren't even playing like a real baseball team right now. So hopefully that works. As the biggest bug I've ever seen in my life is flying around the carport, ladies and gentlemen. Things are getting crazy. Things are getting crazy. Do you hear that? That is definitely a cicada from hell. Ah, get out of here. All right. That's the show from the carport, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully I can do the show tomorrow and not get eaten by this ginormous cicada that is flying around my spot. I want to get a shot of this, but my brother-in-law's carport is so dirty, you'd probably be pissed if I showed you the rest of it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Catch you guys tomorrow for the postcast. Bye.